You are 22 years old when they call your name at morning formation, not for punishment, not for a detail. The political officer reads 8 names and yours is the 6th, and the way he reads it, flat, without weight, the way all important things are announced in the Korean People's Army, tells you nothing except that something is different. You have been in the 11th Corps for 3 years. You know the difference between a name read for a work assignment and a name read for something else. This is something else. You stand forward. The other 7 stand forward. You do not look at each other. Looking at each other would be a question, and questions are not the grammar of this place. You stand in a line, and the political officer says, "You have been selected for a special international mission in service of the fraternal partnership between the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and the Russian Federation." He says it the way the propaganda posters say it, complete sentences, no gaps, nothing that could be held and examined. You understand 4 things from this sentence. You are going somewhere. It is Russia. You were not asked. You will not be told more than this. You go back to your barracks, you pack what they tell you to pack, you do not call your mother because there are no calls, you do not write to your younger brother Chol because letters take weeks and you will be gone before any letter arrives. You think about Chol for a moment. He is 17, he wants to be an engineer, he has their father's way of tilting his head when he is thinking about something. You think about him for approximately 1 minute and then you stop because this is what you do with things you cannot hold and cannot put down. You stop thinking about them. You have been good at this since you were 9 years old. The journey takes 11 days. First, a train north, the windows are covered. You know you are moving north because of the cold and because of the duration. The train stops many times. You sleep in your seat, you eat what is distributed, you do not ask where you are not told where you are. The 8 of you sit in the same car with 40 others from different units, all silent, all performing the same not asking that is the first language of a Korean soldier. Then a ship. You know it is a ship because of the motion. The ship moves for 3 days. You are below deck. The smell is fuel and salt and the specific closed smell of many men in a space with insufficient ventilation. You are not sick, but 2 of the others are. Nobody mentions it. Nobody will mention it. This is also the grammar. Then a military base in what you will later understand was Vladivostok. Russian base, Russian faces. The language is incomprehensible at normal speed, but you have studied Russian for 18 months in a program that did not tell you why you were studying Russian. Now you understand why you were studying Russian. The understanding arrives not as a revelation, but as a quiet click, the kind that happens when a thing you suspected becomes a thing you know. You are issued equipment, Russian uniforms, Russian boots, a rifle that is not the one you trained with, a newer design, heavier, different balance, identity documents. The documents say your name is Dmitry Alexandrov. Your place of birth is listed as Kyzyl in the Tuva region of the Russian Federation. There is a photograph on the document that is your face. You study the document for a long time. You have been many things in the Korean People's Army, but you have never been Russian. You are Russian now on paper in a country that knows you are not Russian and has given you Russian documents anyway. You understand that this is not for the Russians. This is for everyone else. If you are captured, you are Russian. If you die, you were Russian. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea was never here. You are ordered to memorize the documents. You are ordered to not speak Korean in the field under any circumstances. You are given a phrase book for Russian military communications. You are given 10 days of training on Russian tactical systems, radio protocols, vehicle identification, artillery coordination signals, the specific vocabulary of a military doctrine that is different from yours in ways that matter, and in ways you do not yet understand will matter. You memorize everything. You have always been exceptional at memorizing things. In the 11th Corps, in the Storm Corps, you were selected because you are technically exceptional and physically reliable and capable of operating without supervision in complex situations. You are exactly the kind of soldier a special forces unit keeps. You are exactly the kind of soldier this mission requires. You do not know yet what the mission actually requires. The flight takes 6 hours. You are told the destination is the Kursk region in western Russia. You know Kursk from the political education classes. The Battle of Kursk in 1943, the largest tank battle in history. Soviet victory, the beginning of the end of the fascist advance. You were taught this as a triumph. You will fight near the same ground. The political officer on the transport, a Russian one this time, tells you this as though it is significant. You nod. You note that the Russian political officer is younger than you expected and that he has the specific posture of a man who has not been near the front. The base near Kursk is different from Vladivostok. The base near Kursk has the specific quality of a place that is close to something. You can hear it before you can identify what you are hearing. A low, irregular percussion coming from the west. Not thunder, the wrong rhythm for thunder. The rhythm of artillery. You know what artillery sounds like from training, the controlled, sequential impact of a designed exercise. This is different. This is not designed. This is continuous in the way that it has been continuous for a long time and will continue to be continuous. That night, you lie on a cot in a Russian forward base and listen to the artillery, and you think about Chol tilting his head at an engineering problem, and then you stop thinking about Chol. The first operation is a reconnaissance mission. Your training prepared you for this. Storm Corps doctrine is built on infiltration, small teams, silent movement, silent approach, eyes only, no engagement. You have done versions of this exercise 300 times in training areas in North Korea. You are good at this. Your team of 6 moves through a tree line at 2 a.m. toward a position the Russian commander has designated as a Ukrainian observation post. You move the way you were trained to move, quiet, low, spaced correctly. You reach a position 50 meters from the objective, and you observe for 2 hours, and you compile a report, and you move back and you deliver the report, and it is a clean operation. You think, this is what we were trained for. The second operation is not reconnaissance. The Russian battalion commander, a man named Volkov, who wears his rank with the ease of someone who has been issuing orders for a long time and the specific distraction of someone managing too many things simultaneously, explains the operation through an interpreter. The objective is a Ukrainian defensive position on the western edge of a village. The position has been contested for 11 days. 3 Russian attempts have failed. Each attempt reduced the available force. The available force is now insufficient for the task. You and 44 other North Korean soldiers will assault the position from the north at dawn, while Russian forces fix the defenders from the south. You ask about air support. The interpreter translates. Volkov says air support is not available for this window. You ask about artillery preparation. Volkov shows you the map. The map shows the wire as a single line. You have seen enough training maps to understand that a single line on a map becomes something different on the ground. You ask no more questions. Questions beyond a certain point are not useful. You have understood this since you were 9 years old. The barrage starts at 0430, 10 minutes. The sound is not what the training exercises prepared you for. The training exercises prepared you for the idea of artillery. This is the fact of it. The ground moves, the air moves, the inside of your chest moves in a way that has nothing to do with decision and everything to do with biology. You are in a tree line 200 meters from the objective. You can feel the barrage in your back teeth. It stops at 0440. At 0442, you move. The field between the tree line and the objective is approximately 180 meters. You cover the first 60 in the dark before the Ukrainian position responds. Then the position responds. You have trained against simulated fire. Simulated fire has a specific quality: direction, volume, duration, all managed. This has a different quality. This comes from multiple points and it is continuous, and it does not pause to allow you to move between bursts because it is not a training exercise, and the people producing it are not managing a scenario. They are trying to kill you, and they are very good at this, and they have had 11 days to prepare the ground. The man to your left, Kim Sung-jin, 20 years old, from Hamhung, who told you once on a night exercise that his mother makes the best juk in North Hamgyong province, takes a round at the 60-meter mark and goes down. You do not stop. You were trained not to stop. You cover the next 60 meters in the specific physical state that training produces, and you have no name for in Korean or Russian. The wire is not a single line. It is 3 lines with a gap of approximately 4 meters between each. You know there are mines in the gaps because the man in front of you finds one at the 90-meter mark and is simply gone. And then the field is lit by the secondary, and you are on the ground in the noise and the light, and you are not hit. You are not hit. You stay on the ground. The assault is failing. You can assess this without looking up because the volume of incoming fire has not decreased, which means the position has not been suppressed, which means the assault has not achieved fire superiority, which means it will not succeed. This is not a complicated assessment. It takes approximately 4 seconds. You begin moving backward, not running, crawling, the way you were trained to withdraw under fire, slow, low, controlled, using the ground. You make the tree line. 7 others make the tree line. 44 went in. 8 came back. Nobody speaks about it that day. This is also the grammar. You clean your rifle, you eat, you sit on the cot and you look at the identity document that says you are Dmitry Alexandrov from Kyzyl. You look at the photograph that is your face on a document that belongs to a person who does not exist. You think about the 44 men who went into the field and the 36 who did not come back. And you think about Kim Sung-jin, who told you about his mother's juk, and whose body is somewhere in the 180-meter field between the tree line and the wire. You do not know his mother's name. You do not know if anyone will tell her. You know that the document in your pocket lists you as Russian, and that if you had died in that field, you would have been Dmitry Alexandrov, and no one would have known that someone from North Korea was there, except the people who arranged for you to be there, who will not say so. Volkov gives the mission a different target the next day. He does not mention the previous day's operation. You do not mention it. The political officer does not mention it. The grammar holds. By the end of the 2nd month, you understand the shape of the war. It is not the war your training prepared you for. Your training prepared you for infiltration, for sabotage, for the specific skills of a force designed to move quietly through enemy territory and damage specific things and disappear. The war in Kursk is a grinding war, a war of meters, a war in which the same position is contested for days and weeks, in which the defensive advantages of prepared ground are enormous, in which the attacker absorbs casualties at rates your training assumed were scenarios, not operational realities. You understand why Russian forces needed you, not for your specific skills, for your bodies, for your willingness, which is not exactly willingness, it is the product of a system that does not offer alternatives, to assault fortified positions in the dark. Russia is running out of Russians who will do this. Russia has provided 20,000 men who will do this because they were told to, and because not doing it is a category of action that does not exist in the grammar they were raised in. You think about this for a long time. You think about it in the specific way you have learned to think about things that cannot be changed, looking at the shape of them, understanding the shape, putting the shape somewhere in yourself where it becomes something you know rather than something that is happening to you. You have become very good at this. You have been getting good at this since you were 9 years old, and you were 22 now, and there are things inside you that are understood and filed and silent that would take years to speak about if you ever spoke about them, which you will not. Month 4. You stop counting operations. You have been in 14 engagements. You have lost people from your original 8 in 3 of them. You have 2 left from the original formation call. You do not think about the others by name anymore. You tried to think about them by name in the first 2 months, and you stopped because there is a limit to how many names you can carry and do the next thing. A Ukrainian drone finds your position at 0200 on a Thursday. Not a strike drone, an observation drone. You hear it before you see it. A specific high-pitched hum that everyone near the front learns within days of arriving. You and the man beside you, Pak Jae-won, 24, soul trained in Russian, but you are not supposed to know that, move to separate covered positions in the standard dispersion pattern you have been doing for 4 months. The drone circles for 8 minutes, then it leaves. Then 12 minutes later, the artillery comes. This is the drone war. The thing your training in North Korea had no framework for. Not the concept. You understood drones as a concept. The operational reality of a war in which there are eyes above you at all times, in which concealment from above is as important as concealment from the front, in which the gap between being seen and being targeted is sometimes 12 minutes and sometimes 40 seconds, and you never know which it will be. You have developed a specific relationship with the sound of the hum. Your body responds before your mind processes it. You move. This is now automatic the way walking is automatic. You will carry this for the rest of your life. The rest of your life, if there is a rest in your life, will include moving when you hear a specific hum. Pak Jae-won is not hit. You are not hit. You find each other in the dark after the barrage, and you do not say anything. There is nothing to say that the finding each other in the dark does not already say. In the 5th month, the order comes to rotate back. Not all of you, a selection, the soldiers identified with the most operational experience from the deployment. You are on the list. You are given no explanation for why you are on the list, and you do not ask for one because you are very good at not asking. You fly back the same way you came. A different flight, a different base, but the same direction. East, then further east, toward a country that has been managing without you for 5 months and will receive you back without ceremony. At the base in Vladivostok, you return the Russian documents. You return the Russian uniform. You are given back Korean documents. Your name is your name again. You are whoever you were before Dmitry Alexandrov from Kyzyl. You debrief with 2 officers you have never seen. They ask about tactical observations, drone patterns, defensive configurations, Russian coordination methods, Ukrainian firing patterns. They are not asking about what happened in the field in the way that a person asks about what happened. They are asking for operational data. You give them operational data. You are thorough, you are precise. You give them everything that is useful for the purpose of understanding modern warfare. You do not give them Kim Sung-jin's name because they did not ask. You do not give them the sound of the hum because they have no instruments for it. They send you back to the academy in Pyongyang. Your assignment, train the next rotation. Teach them what modern warfare actually looks like. Drone patterns, defensive wire configurations, the difference between a training map and operational ground, the specific calibration of advancing across 180 meters of contested space. You stand in front of 60 soldiers who are 20 years old. They have the faces of men who have trained hard and believe in what they are training for. They have the face you had at 20. You look at them the way your father used to look at things he understood that he could not explain. You teach them everything that can be taught: the drone sound, the dispersion pattern, the way to move backward without running, the way to assess whether an assault is failing in 4 seconds. You do not teach them about Kim Sung-jin. There is no module for Kim Sung-jin. There is no module for the field between the tree line and the wire. There is no module for finding someone in the dark after the barrage. These things are not in the curriculum because they cannot be taught and cannot be trained. They can only be survived. And some of them will not survive them, and that is also not in the curriculum. The 60 soldiers watch you with the attentive, respectful focus of men who believe what they are being told. You teach them for 8 weeks. You are a good teacher. You are thorough and precise, and you do not waste their time. On the last day of the training cycle, you are told there will be a selection. Some of them will be chosen for the next international mission. The political officer reads the criteria: technically exceptional, physically reliable, capable of operating without supervision. You stand at the front of the room and watch their faces. None of them look afraid. None of them show anything. They have been trained not to show anything, and they are good at it. You were good at it too, at 20. You are still good at it. You have never stopped being good at it. But there is a thing that you know now that you did not know at 20, and there is no way to give it to them, and there is no module for it, and the grammar of this place does not have words for it. And so, you stand at the front of the room, and you look at the 60 faces, and you finish the session, and you dismiss them, and you walk out into the Pyongyang morning. You think about Chol. He is 20 now. He wants to be an engineer. He has their father's way of tilting his head. You think about him for 1 minute. Then you stop. Somewhere in a training base in North Korea right now, a 20-year-old is being told he has been selected for a special international mission. He is technically exceptional. He is physically reliable. He is capable of operating without supervision. He does not know what the mission is. He does not ask. Not asking is the first language and the last language, and everything in between. He packs what he is told to pack. He does not call his mother. He does not write to his brother. He looks at the document with his face and someone else's name for a long time. Then he closes it. Then he is ready. He doesn't know yet what ready means. This is a work of fiction, but the deployment is real. North Korea sent more than 20,000 soldiers to Russia's Kursk region beginning in late 2024. Approximately 6,000 were killed by early 2026. They were issued fake Russian identity documents listing them as citizens of the Tuva region. They were ordered to commit suicide rather than be captured. They were sent in massed frontal assaults against fortified Ukrainian positions, described by U.S. officials as dismounted infantry attacks against heavily defended ground.